Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. Now the park is really filling up and there's just a few spots in the park that still need touching up. Now in the last episode I made this back alley here in the Asian area with this Japanese movie theater. And one part of the park which especially needs some touching up is the mine area. It's still quite underwhelming in the forms of decoration. I mean, it does have a few cool rides already, but it just doesn't look very finished yet. Now, the first thing I want to do is actually get rid of some of these supports under the coaster. I really don't like these lattice supports that you normally get under the mine train coaster, and especially in these diagonal sections, I just don't think they look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some other coaster track under it, just so we get some steel supports, like mine train coasters, well, real ones at least, usually have. And second, I will remove some of these paths, and I will actually make it look like a mine. So I will excavate a lot of the ground here, and maybe I'll make a spiraling path down, something like that. And what I want to make here is actually a ride where guests ride these large mine trucks. Now, of course, we can emulate those with monster trucks and probably give them a yellow color. Now, I do know we already have a ride here with monster trucks, but I think if we give them a different color and give the ride a completely different layout, it probably shouldn't matter too much. Anyway, there's a lot of work to be done in this area, so I'll first just get started with these supports. Alright, I think this area looks much better with these steel supports. Now, there's a little bit of a section without support here, but I'll fix that in a bit. But yeah, these supports look much more clean and it's much easier to fit stuff under them. Now, I do want to redo the layout of this coaster here a little bit. I want to use this area here in the middle for the new excavator ride. I want to dig it out, so I'll have to go quite deep. So I can probably move this coaster a bit outwards here, and I can probably also make the coaster use more of this section instead of the middle section. And then over here I'll have more space to put my new ride. I'm also really happy that in the new save format we don't have corrupt elements anymore, because if we still had those, let's just say I had to make a lot of track invisible here, and if I had to use corrupt elements for that, then after deleting the ride I would have to find all those bits, or else they would make other stuff here invisible. So in the new save format, all track pieces just have a flag stating whether they are invisible or not, as you can probably see here. And if I remove these invisible track pieces, they will simply disappear and not leave any lingering corrupt element behind. So that's really good, I think. Okay, I will close these rides, and then I will rebuild the track here. And after that, I'll also have to redo the trains, since I've edited them with the ride vehicle editor. Alright, it was quite a big task to actually move this track, mostly because it also required me to rebuild the entrances and exit of this coaster. And yeah, I also had to redo the ride vehicle editing on the trains, etc, etc. But yeah, I'm now left with a nice and big space here in the middle for me to put an extra ride in, and I can also excavate this area a little bit more. Now, actually the exit for this Ferris wheel is over here, but I will move it a bit lower, and as a bonus that will also make the guests drop much more when they exit the ride. Alright, I will now start the excavation of this ride, and something which I will also have to think of is a path to connect this Ferris wheel to the path here. Maybe I'll do like a catwalk that goes through the loop here, but most likely I'll just make it zigzag down here into the excavation pit. No, I actually have a lot of underground paths in my park, so when you have these, it's always you always have to be careful not to accidentally delete them, because yeah, it can lead to a lot of guests getting lost underground. But yeah, thankfully I was able to spot it quite easily. But yeah, also in earlier episodes, sometimes you may have seen the park rating tank a lot, and that was usually because I accidentally deleted an underground path. Anyway, the excavation site is taking shape, and yeah, I think it's time for me to actually add a ride in here. So, like I already said, I want to have sort of like a monster trucks ride here. Basically, it will be those big, yeah, dump trucks that you usually see in the mines. And actually, I also want to have like a little tunnel here, maybe, and actually have the monster trucks also ride on this side of the mountain. I can probably extend the dig side a little bit over here, and maybe that will also look cool. Alright, I'm making some obstacles here for the excavation truck to drive on. So here's some cars that were excavated from this mine. It is in this mine lots of different stuff are excavated. Anyway, I'm just going to add some more of these piles here and there. I added some sides where the cars actually bump up and down like this, and I made the track invisible. So it will be nice for me to add some kinds of stuff here to give the cars a reason to do this. Okay, I've now added lots of obstacles and decorations for this ride. I think it looks quite nice. Now, one thing I just did was that I changed the ride into a miniature railway, and that makes it so that guests actually will stop on the path if one of these cars crosses. So I think that makes the ride look a little bit more interesting. I quite like this railway crossing behavior, so I'm going to keep this here. So the last thing I'm going to do for this episode is make this track invisible again. Alright, I think the area looks much more like a mine now. So yeah, I made it a bit deeper. I moved the cozy track a bit outwards, and we made this dump truck ride in this excavation site. So I think these are quite nice additions to the park. And of course I added all these cars here, which are in the bottom of the mine for some reason. And of course that gives a good excuse for this truck to drive over the cars. And of course there's also this railway crossing behavior here for the guests. Alright, I've made a little toilet building here called The Dump. I thought that would be an appropriate name for a toilet in a mine theme. Alright, and my final addition here to the mine themed area is this shop which sells ore nuggets. So that way the guests also get to enjoy the material that gets excavated here in this site. Maybe let's put a little roof above it, not really sure. Yeah, I think it will actually look cool if you can actually see the material that has been excavated. So I'll just put a little wall around it to make the colors fit more nicely here. Let's see, we'll do a wall like that. Alright, I think that that looks appropriate, and we'll add one of these in front. Alright, I think that looks pretty nice. Alright, and with that I think this area is mostly completed, Now I will do some touching up off camera. I'll add some trees here and there, some more decorations. But yeah, I really like the way this area is already starting to look. And like I already said, it looks so much more like a mine right now. So yeah, this area definitely needed a bunch more decoration like this. Alright, for the rest of this episode, I think it will be fun to follow one of these cars throughout the track. Although it might be a little bit difficult to follow, but I'll do my best. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.